it's Shelby and today we are making a headpiece. This one I can't decide if I think it's more like wedding, outdoor, beautiful, just like back to nature, or if it's like fairy tale, fairy, Halloween headpiece. It could honestly swing both ways. So to start with that, I have a headband. It's kind of like a dark blonde color. It's mainly just matching my hair. I've got this lovely sprig of fake flowers, berries, multitude of different leaves from the craft store. I have my multi-purpose tool, I have some gold wire, and basically that's everything we're gonna need, but I will link it down below in the description along with my socials. If you guys want to twin projects, let me know if you like this project by hitting that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and let's get going. So I think what I want to do first off is just rip off what I'm working with. So these are just wire bushels, so I know I have the berries, I've got the different leaves. This is pretty chunky, like this isn't something I necessarily want on my head, so I'm going to kind of strip the individual components off a little bit. I do like these very lacy little leaves. I think those are really pretty. I definitely want to use a few of those. So I'm going to collect those, and then I'm going to collect the bigger leaves. These definitely I think will have a place on there, but not as many as the little lacy leaves. So I'm basically just separating them out into little piles so that I can use them. They just pop right off, but they have like a little bit of a stem. That's where the craft wire comes into play so that I can attach it all, but those are the little berries. These I don't know if I'm gonna use or not, but I definitely don't need the stem. So just kind of pulling a few off like that. This one's got some different leaves. Just basically creating a stockpile of items to work with. So the reason I chose this is because it does have the different leaves on there. It's got a few different varieties too. It's got some like cute little spiky ones, but they're all soft rubber, so they're not going to like hurt your head at all, which is nice, or like get really tangled up in your hair or be spiky or anything. So I'm just separating a few out, but these are what I meant by those, like little spiky leaves right here. I don't know if you can tell, but they're definitely like, they look a little spiky. So we've got 4 different options now. We've got these leaves, the lacy leaves, the spiky leaves, and the berries. I've got a fair amount in my pile now, so I'm going to start attaching them to my headband. So I'm going to start with my lacy leaves, and basically I want these to kind of disguise the headband a little bit. So I'm going to be laying them on top of each other just to create this nice line of lacy leaves. I think this will be pretty in your hair too. It just makes it like a thicker band. And just attach them on to the headband with some gold wire. So I have my gold wire here, and I'm going to start just by linking it on my headband just so that I've got a way to start twisting it, and I'm going to do that by looping it around. Get this a little bit in camera, and just winding the wire around itself a little bit. This is, I believe, 22 gauge, so it's really, really soft and easy to wrap around itself. So I'm just doing that just to kind of link it, and I'm going to put it up where the teeth of the headband are. I'm not super worried about cinching it down right now because it's going to be wound around it so many times that the leaves will hold it in place. Have my lacy leaves. I'm just linking them across the top of the headband, and I'm going in between the leaves and just using the gold wire just to hit the very stem so that the leaves can float autonomously up by themselves, because that's what I want. And then I'm just going to be laying out my leaves kind of as I go, and then every couple centimeters or so looping it again. So definitely not linking down any of the actual leaves, just getting the stems in there, just enough to lock these things down. They're very lightweight. I'm definitely not worried about having to cinch them down at all, but it is important just to kind of attach them, make sure they're not going anywhere. I'm going to be attaching other things, so there's definitely going to be more wire linking these down in the future. I just want to get a nice little baseline of them being attached, just like that. So here's 2 of them on there. You can see there's not that much wire. I looped them like 4 times, but I'm letting them move a little bit. Like they're definitely coming up off of the headband a little bit, so I think that looks cool. I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm also kind of letting them go, have some distance from each other. So each one I'm starting about 1/3 of the way down so that you really get each one by itself before the next one is layered up. And I'm doing that to reduce bulk because I know that I am going to be putting on additional leaves and like the little berry florets and just a few other items on here. And I don't want it to get crazy, crazy, crazy bulky. So right now it's okay that these are lifting up. I can just move the leaves back down with a little bit of wire, but right now I'm just kind of attaching what I've got. Okay, so I have all of my leaves, all my lacy leaves on. I've got down here kind of open so that your hair can go down there. And I'm leaving the wire attached because there's not really any reason to keep cutting it when I'm just going back over and back over. So next up, I'm going to get my other leaves because I want to save the berries to last, figure out how I want to arrange them and attach them to the floral tiara, headband, whatever we want to call it, next. So I don't want to go completely across the tiara with the leaves. That's just going to create kind of this tiara effect. So I'm taking my spiky leaves, and what I'm doing with these is I'm going to add a few on this side, just a couple. And then my more bulky leaves, I'm going to add a few on this side just to create a little bit of movement. This is just to kind of cohesively connect the plants on both sides. So take my spiky leaves, I'm going the same direction with them as my lacy leaves, and I'm going to tie these down fairly well. This is not something that I want sticking up, creating a lot of movement. Instead, I just want a little bit of different texture when you're looking down on the headband. So I'm still doing the same thing I did before, in that I'm going in between the leaves and I'm really just attaching down the stem rather than leaves, and I'm making sure to pay attention to the lacy leaves underneath it and make sure I don't scrunch those down. I'm getting in between those leaves too and really just going across the stems of both just to attach them down and create a lovely little line for that. So this is what it looks like with one of them on. You can see it's really nice and flat. It's really just for when you're looking down, that kind of texture. So I've got another one here, it's a little dual one, and I'm just going to be adding it as well like that, just to give it a little bit of difference between the lacy leaves. And I am looping them over the top of each other a little bit so that the leaves kind of cover up the stem, just because I think that's a little bit prettier, but that's personal preference on that one. There we go. So you can see the gold a little bit, but really it just looks like a lovely little leaf pattern. You really can't see it that much because it's kind of through the leaves and just over the stems. So I'm going to be bringing it back down here a little bit because I want these leaves to really start creating some bulk over here. So I'm not laying them flat the way I did before. I'm just figuring out which side I want up. I think I want them to sit like that, like really create a little bit of drama. And then I'm going to attach them just by the stem, again, not tying down the leaves, but I'm not tying down the very tops of them either. I'm just going really towards the ends of the stems in order to securely fasten them, but not kind of lock them down at all. So you can see it's creating a bit of height, which is what I want to bring down the side. It's just that little bit of extra height and drama. Really kind of cinch down the last little ones here. Go down and get the lacy feather down there as well. A couple times. And here I am going to break the gold wire. Just easily snaps, and then I'm just going to kind of use my multi-purpose tool to tie it in on itself and just create a little knot, and in that way just securely fasten it to the headband so that it's not going anywhere, just like that, like it's literally just on itself. And then just make sure that you like tuck the ends up in the loops that attach to the top of the headband, and that's just so that you don't stab yourself, because that's not a fun day. So this is what we're looking at so far, and this is a super pretty little kind of forest nymph headband. I don't even know if I want to add, I do want to add just a little sprig of flowers. That's what I want to add. So we're going back in with our gold wire, and I just need a little length for this one. Basically, I'm going to fold it in half, U-shaped, wind it through the little berries to make sure that it is nice and attached all the way through. Loop it under and then pull it tight. And this is going to pretty securely fasten these babies. They're not going anywhere. Just wind it through however you want so that you know they're not going anywhere, and then we're going to attach it to the headband. So I want them to attach kind of right here, just like that. So I'm going to take my gold wire, run it through the leaves. Again, definitely don't be, you know, messing up and squishing the leaves down now that you've like worked so hard to make sure that they look good. And honestly, I like just one little thing of the berries. So just attaching down the stems, not the leaves, winding it through with the wire. I'm going to take one side and bring it around so that they can attach on the back and kind of tie down, just like you would tie a bow, like a little square knot with the two ends. Just make sure it's nice and securely fastened. There we go. We're going to tie another one just for good measure, and then we're going to tuck the ends in. This wire is really soft and super easy to work with. I'm really glad I chose it. This wire was suggested for wreath making, actually, and I can definitely see why. You can really manipulate it very easily, get it to tie things down, move through, and it seems like it's fairly strong as well. So I'm just going to wind my little stray guys through there, tighten everything down, and then kind of weave them through the existing gold loops in there, just so that there's no spikes sticking out that can hurt you, because that's not a fun day. We do not want that. There we go. So this is a beautiful forest headband. Look at that. That's so pretty. I can definitely see why people like this and are inspired to wear things like this to their wedding, especially if it's like an outdoor wedding. Like, this is beautiful. Like, things like this I've seen on Pinterest, and now seeing it in real life, I definitely know why. I'm gonna pop it on so you can kind of see it. It kind of goes with my outfit. I don't know. Imagine I'm in like a big billowy dress or something, but super pretty. I really like this. I think this is super cute. So if you guys like the video or the journey of how to make it, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I do love hearing from you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.